Hot take. A lot of you are not going to like this. In today's video, I'm going to be going deep to talk about a topic that so many people are misconcepting about on the internet. Our key is going to be WordPress. I'm going to be talking about being a WordPress developer, a WordPress designer, and a WordPress editor. Starting from the bottom, that is the most basic level, going to the top to becoming a WordPress developer. Hello guys, on this channel I create content related to learning digital skills and how to monetize the skills. And over my past 4 years of being a freelancer, designing websites and doing UI UX design as a UX designer also, I have learned a lot that I feel confident to talk about this topic, and everything I'm going to be sharing with you inside of this video is based on my own opinion and my own knowledge, and the comment section is free to tell me what you think about all of this. Trust me guys, it is not easy to become a WordPress developer, but it is as straightforward and as simple as you think typing is to become a WordPress editor. But everything depends on your level of expertise and how far you want to go into it. Talking of WordPress editing, I've been able to do a lot of coding, doing all of these years to become a front-end developer, and I have a good understanding of how to write code and how to write clean code and how code works. And being a WordPress editor has little or nothing to do with code. This is to be clear. It can be an advantage if you know how to do some kind of front-end development, but particularly for me, like someone who also runs an online business, a WordPress editor, what you need to add to your toolbox has to do with just some knowledge of SEO and understanding how the marketing works when it comes to making views for people to see. So this has to do with you becoming an editor. Let's say for me, I write articles every day. I publish on my blog. I write articles for people. And being a WordPress editor is as simple as you being able to type. So you can be an editor for a website. You have to write the articles, edit them, cross-check them for it to be published. And another role that an editor does on a website in WordPress is making some few changes. Let's say a website is already built. Sometimes they might have to change some images, some weekly updates, some monthly updates. You just have to come and erase some text, put in some new text, or you brainstorm about it. That's why it's also very important that for WordPress editors, they should be very good and creative. You need to be able to understand what people want to see. You should be able to bring up new ideas, because basically you as the editor, you cross-check what the designer did to make sure that it is perfectly suited for the most basic audience type. So that's some kind of intro into what a WordPress editor has to do, and you can go deeper than that. But basically, I feel like being an editor, the next skill that you want to add to your toolkit or to your toolbox is SEO, because the internet has to do with a lot of SEO right in this generation. So I'm going to be going to the next level now, is becoming a WordPress designer. If you have been doing with WordPress, if you have a lot of knowledge about it, and that's the reason why I blame a lot of these people that get to say WordPress development is not real development and WordPress is just basic drag and drop and all of this. Yeah, there's no BS in that. All of it is true. Yes, WordPress has to do with drag and drop. WordPress is actually easy, but it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of understanding and expertise for you to boldly say that WordPress is easy. Because with me, every day I've been using this tool and I've used it for a very period of time. And as a developer and someone who is also very skilled on so many aspects of the internet, I can say that yeah, WordPress is easy for me. But for someone who is a complete novice, complete beginner, you're not going to tell me that you're going to jump into WordPress and get a fantastic website done. No, it's not going to work that way. For those who are designers, if you know, WordPress has to do a lot with plugins, has to do a lot with themes, and has to do a lot with templates. So for designers, these are the people that come in the middle after the development has been done. I'm going to get into development. So these designers are those who can be able to take these templates, take these themes, and can be able to customize them to look for a particular themed website or for a particular kind of business. So if I need a website now, I can hire a WordPress designer to be able to get a theme, put it together, and let my website go live. He knows what to combine, he knows the colors to use, and he knows what to put wherever for it to look good. WordPress designers who are also experts can be able to use different page builders to build websites from scratch. So you log into the WordPress dashboard, you go into, you put everything, you link the CMS. You now use your own knowledge of design as the designer to be able to use the Elementor, the Wix. You have Weaver. There's so many page builders out there that work with WordPress. You should be able to use that theme, those page builders, to be able to build a nice looking website that's interactive and responsive. This is the key of a WordPress designer. You don't have to do with so much of coding. But on the other hand, when you have to build advanced websites as a WordPress designer, you need to have some knowledge of coding. Personally, for me, I fall between the category of a WordPress developer and a WordPress designer, because this is the exact truth. you should be able to understand how these themes work and how to actually make some changes, some specific updates into these themes for you to get the best results as a designer. The truth is, WordPress is not really as easy as people talk about, because there are some aspects of a website that you might have to purchase a plugin. But if you have some good understanding of code, you can be able to customize that theme to be able to have that feature inside of it without buying a plugin. I think this makes sense. There are some features on a theme or on a website or a template that you are using that you might need to buy a pro plugin, or you might need to buy another external third-party software or something to work together with it for it to actually give you that feature. But once you have that development knowledge, you can go ahead and add some custom code, some custom CSS, or even go as detailed as customizing the theme to be able to get that result. And this is exactly where the stage of a WordPress developer comes in. Nobody should joke with this stage. If you are a WordPress developer, you are not any kind of basic person. For anyone who is a WordPress developer, you are far advanced. You need to understand database, you need to understand front end, and you need to be super perfect with PHP. Listen to me, guys. WordPress development has to do with those who are building these themes and templates that you use inside of WordPress. All of these themes and templates that we use inside of WordPress don't come from space. They are actually real code that people have written using the PHP and the knowledge, using the PHP and different coding language that WordPress is actually built on for it to be able to interact, that you can install and use it, customize it as a designer, edit it as an editor to have that website live. So WordPress has to do with a lot of coding. And before you can actually become a WordPress developer, you need to have taken years of learning programming, understanding how it works, for you to be able to write clean and customizable code for a theme or a WordPress website. So listen to me. This is a very advanced field, very, very lucrative. Like I said earlier, more than 40% of websites on the internet are built on WordPress. And it's something that if you are interested in getting into, you should be ready to work, and you should understand that there's a lot of profit on it. Actually, I'm also going to be getting into the world of understanding and using Webflow, because it's also a no-code page builder and website builder. And one thing I want to let people know is, forget about the bullshit that everybody's going to tell you about WordPress. There's a lot of money to be made from it, and you as a beginner in development, you can think of getting to WordPress, and it's going to really help you and fasten your work so much. I'm not here to preach about this. I know a lot of those software engineers, beginners, are going to say, hey, don't get into WordPress. But if you're actually thinking of being an entrepreneur, of building your own systems, or becoming a freelancer in the web development field, I think that no-code page builders like Webflow, Flutterflow, WordPress are a number one go-to for you to get your job done. Actually, I know how to write code so well, but me getting a client saying that they need a website in 2 weeks, I cannot go actually to build an e-commerce website in 2 weeks by myself, because the first thing that's going to come out is I'm going to get burnt out like crazy. You will be sick, bro. The next thing that you need to know is you are going to have to do a lot of work. No matter how good or how perfect you are in development, there's a lot of research and hard work that you have to do to be able to sit behind the screens and write that code step by step to optimize it and publish for a website to be live that can actually receive a traffic of 500 to 1,000 people every day. You're going to do a lot of hard work, and you have to be able to be having a lot of resources. Listen, writing code is not actually free. Like, there's some things that you have to go ahead and purchase, or some things that you have to go ahead and hire some another external person for you to work with and do, if actually you want to deliver this work within this very short time frame or time period. And that's where these no-code page builders come in. They actually bridge the gap between you doing a lot of this work, you using a lot of time, to you doing things faster, using a very short period of time and building solid systems in a short period of time and delivering to your client. So if you're actually thinking of freelancing, I don't know about others, but you should get into no code page builders that are going to help you. And on the other hand, if you want to actually do freelancing where you're going to be working on some kind of technical systems, you need to have a lot of knowledge on coding. There are some systems that are actually built from scratch without you having to do, with you having to do a lot of coding. Some system websites and platforms that are built on React, and they are going to need a real developer, someone who can code. And that is slightly different from you using these no code page builders. But if you are thinking about where you can actually get in and make a lot of money fast, you can get into these no code page builders that are going to get you money. But and the difference is that when those who are hiring for companies, startups, or agencies that have to hire you as a freelancer, that you need to write code, they really always love to get someone who is an expert. Like, they believe that you need to show a portfolio and you need to actually showcase some specialty for you to be able to build and work into this your system since it has to do with code. That's the exact same thing when you have to be a WordPress developer. And being a WordPress developer is one of the most powerful, the most lucrative, and very interesting fields that you can get into at any point in your life as a developer, because these people are always going to be needed. They are always going to be needed, like always. And the truth is that since more than 40% of websites on the internet are built on WordPress, listen to me, they are always going to come back to WordPress developers. And that's just a simple truth. So if you have ever been confused between the difference between a WordPress editor and a WordPress designer and a WordPress developer, please don't go and say somewhere that these guys build websites on WordPress. They are just doing drag and drop. This thing is not easy. Even down to the most basic level of being just a WordPress editor, you need to think, you need to be smart, and you need to focus for you to be able to get those best results that you want to get. Not to talk of becoming a WordPress designer. Guys, listen to me. In as much as you can get these themes, plug in, add plugins, and get to set it up, it requires some level of expertise and smartness to you to be able to get these fantastic results that people see out there that they cannot even understand from first sight that you use WordPress to build. So forget about whatever people are saying. Literally, personally, I've made a lot of money from WordPress. I use WordPress on a daily for my blogs, and definitely I also write code. I'm having a system and a project which I'm currently building now, the online hustle AI, that's React JS, and a lot of HTML CSS that I'm using there, like a front end developer. And there's nothing that I have to lose being a developer who writes code and a developer who just uses WordPress to make more money. So guys, if that sounds like you, my name is Siri and this is Side Programs. Ciao.